And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a game called Prosperity. This is from Ystari Games and picked up by Asmodee. This is another game with YS in the title. It's a game by Reiner Knizia and Sebastian Bleasdale. Now, I haven't played a game from Reiner Knizia in a long time that wasn't like a really fluffed down game, although he used to be the king of game designers. The front of this box is a pretty cool picture. It's a city, it's kind of a smoggy city, and that's kind of what the game is about. It's about building a city that, or a country really, that has a lot of power and a lot of production, but doesn't destroy the environment too much. Now, this isn't some kind of call to action type thing. It's an actual game mechanism. This game plays from 2 to 4 players. Let's take a look at how it plays, and we'll be back. To understand how we're going to play the game, you have to look at each player's board. Each player board has a country up in the corner. It shows what country you are. So for example, this is France, but in reality they're all the same. Doesn't matter which country you use. The only difference is there is a difficult side where the country is black and an easier side where the country is gray. So you can play all together with a harder setting, or you can, even if someone's better than somebody else, you can kind of give yourself a handicap. Now over here you have a pollution track, and it starts with pollution points about halfway up it. As the game progresses, you're going to want to get rid of those points. You also have some buildings that are already built on your mat. Each of these buildings gives positive and negative benefits. For example, this building we're looking at here gives 2 positive energy, but 1 negative ecology. This building, these wires here give 1 negative energy. This building gives 1 resource. The building up there gives 1 money. Down here it's 1 negative ecology. And here's 1 positive ecology. Now, ecology and energy are measured over here. So at the beginning of the game, everyone is going to start with 1 energy and -1 ecology. As the game progresses, you are going to be buying different buildings. As you buy these buildings, you are going to place them in the same color spot as the background of the building. So let's say I put this building up here in the top. That gives me -1 energy and +2 ecology. So I would change the spots on my board accordingly. And sometimes you'll get a building that will replace something, like perhaps this one here. I have a better factory, so now instead of 2 positive energy, it's 4 positive energy, and instead of 1 negative ecology, it's -2. So my ecology goes down by 1, but my energy goes up by 2. And so you'll be constantly adjusting those and constantly building new buildings and replacing them. One building here, the park, has an X on it, which means until another thing is put here, nothing can, you don't have any transportation to get to these 2 spots. You can't build here until you've put transportation to get there. And so you only have so many spots here to put people, and there's only so many colors in the game, but that is how you're going to be building up. Now the board is actually quite long. There's at the bottom of this, there's 2 technology tracks here. We have an environmental technology track. Each player will put a cube there. We have a industrial technology track. Next to these are put starting tiles. These tiles are always put out. Every tile, when it's put out on the board, is put in a specific spot. You can tell that by a little number in the corner. See, that shows a blue 4. So that means it's put next to the blue 4. There's also a green 4. It would go on the other side. Now, in case you're wondering about how you get that mixed up, you'll notice that the numbers are different colors, but they're also on different sides. The green ones are always this on the right, and the blue ones are always on the left. Now, up here is a scoring track. It's actually kind of an annoying scoring track as you move your cubes, but as you get points, you'll move them up there. There will also be a pile of money, which is really bad paper money. It's really flimsy, and it's only one-sided, which is too bad because you use it a lot. And pollution discs. And then there is a giant stack of tiles that you will be using over the course of the game. These tiles start with there's a stack of 5 1970s, then 5 1980s, the 90s, then 2000, 2010, 2020, and 2030. Each of those stacks is random, but they are put in that order. On your turn, you will draw the top tile of a pile, and you will score according to that. You'll look at the tile, and everybody will score whatever it is. In this case, it's euros. I know it's euros because one of these euro symbols has a white symbol around it. After it is scored, I will place this in the proper spot. This one happens to go into a green 3. when scoring happens, there's 5 different ways for scoring to happen. I guess scoring isn't necessarily the way that it works, but it's a called out symbol is what the rule book uses, depending on what it is. So let's say it's energy. I'll look at my energy track over here. For each positive energy I have, I get 50 euros. For each negative energy I have, I either have to lose 100 euros or add another pollution disk to the track. If ecology is the called out symbol, for each positive ecology I have, I get rid of a pollution. For each negative one I have, I add a pollution onto the track. If money is called out, if euro is called out, then I will get 100 euros for each euro symbol that I have. If technology is called out, I'll be able to move up 1 space on the track for each technology symbol I have. And then finally, if the earth symbol is pulled up, I'll get 1 point for every earth symbol. You'll notice that there is 1 right here. Other tiles will give them as they're placed out, but if you get rid of all your pollution, there's 3 of them here. If your pollution gets so bad it gets to this top spot, you cannot score until you remove the discs that are on that top spot. So after the tile has its called out symbol, then the player is going to get 2 actions on their turn. They have different things they can do. They can do the same thing twice. You can take 100 euros from the bank and add it to your pile. You can move one of these up on the technology track, although usually it's better to move those up having a lot of technology symbols in your buildings. You can build a building. Now this is a big one. This is one of the main features of the game. When you build a building, you pay money to the bank, take that building and put it on, just like I showed you earlier. The cost of building depends on where your matching tech thing is. If it's at the level that you want to buy, let's say I want to buy a level 3 green building for red, it would cost 100 euros. If it's below your level, it costs 50. Doesn't matter how far below. If it's above your level, you can buy it, but you pay 100 for each level it's higher. So 4s would cost 200, 5s would cost 300, 6s would cost 400, which is crazy, but you just might want one of those buildings as they come out. Another action you can take is to get rid of a pollution disk. So this will continue until all the tiles from this large pile are drawn. Each player will draw a tile, everyone will score with it, then that player takes their turn. You keep going. After the final turn comes, after the last tile has been drawn, then everything is called out one more time. Energy, ecology, etc. points. And then players total up their points, and whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. I have to say, I am incredibly impressed with this game. It's so fun because as you take these tiles, the game is so easy. Flip a tile, see what happens, you score, or you don't score, whatever happens, and then you can take those 2 actions. And the actions are interesting. I mean, I want to move up on a tech tree as fast as I can so that I can buy tiles for cheaper. Sometimes you have to take money. And then what tiles are you going to buy? Because every tile, it seems, comes with a positive and negative. Even if the whole tile is positive, it's usually going to have to cover up something that you might not have wanted to cover up in the course of the game. So I really like that. Tiles that provide more energy usually hurt the ecology more. And tiles that have a lot of ecology usually suck out your energy. So they kind of balance that way. And sometimes you're just best off if you keep your things at 0-0, which can be hard. Point tiles are great because that's how you win the game, but if you buy too many point tiles too early, then you're not going to actually have any production and your whole machine will clog up. So it's kind of a test. And there's also some tiles that when you buy them, they're not actually buildings, they're one-off tiles. Like I can buy this tile and it simply gets rid of 3 pollution. Or there's other tiles you can get that are simply worth a couple points. Now points in this game are pretty tight, so those tiles can be pretty big deal. The points in this game are a lot tighter than you think, so getting any points, and more than half the point tiles are out on the table at the beginning of the game. So you can kind of see where they're at. The game plays very differently with 2 and 4 players. I actually prefer it with 2. That back and forth, I get every other tile. I really like that. There's a chance your opponent can buy the tile you wanted. But with 4, your opponent will buy the tile. You have fewer options. With 2 players, you have more options, and I think it's a lot more fun that way. Each set of 5 tiles has one of the scoring things, so they're shuffled up, but you can say, well, money's going to come up soon. I need an influx of cash or technology. And sometimes you build a building specifically because you're pretty sure technology is going to come up soon, so I'll build that tech building there, and I'll cover up power because we just had scoring for power last turn, so it probably won't come up for a while. Things like that work really well. It's a solid game. I like the little artwork. It's that little cool city artwork in the game, and the theme makes sense, which is something I very rarely say about a Knizia game. I think Knizia has and Bleasdale have really struck gold here. This is an excellent game. Now, it's a little bland looking. I mean, the picture's cool, but because of the smog, it's a little bland looking on the shelf, but don't pass this one by. This is a light to medium weight Euro game, but it's one that I have a lot of fun, and it plays really quickly. The box says 60 minutes, but with 2 players, you can crank it off in 30 to 45 minutes. And the tiles come up slightly different in each game, and it's fun to try to maneuver and balance out your city. I wouldn't call this a city building game, but it's close, and it does an excellent job. Certainly one to try out. Certainly surprised me. Prosperity.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
There.